You ever love someone so much that you forgot who you were? Like, you woke up one day and didn't even recognize the man in the mirror. That's what happened to me. I moved to a state I didn't even want to live in for a woman I barely knew, and I racked up over $10,000 of credit card debt just trying to keep her around and impress her. And the worst part is, I wasn't even truly in love with this woman. I was really just scared to be alone. But if you're new to my channel, welcome to The Ascended Man. My name is Brian. I served in combat with the U.S. Marines at the age of 20. I was a certified personal trainer for over a decade, and I've coached tons of men. I've also coached women to peak performance. And now my mission is to help you forge strength for life, elevate your spirit, and lead with purpose. So let's get into it. Let me take you back to when I first got out of the Marines. I was 23 years old, fresh out after serving active duty for 4 years. I went in right out of high school. And honestly, man, I was lost. I had no idea really who I was without the structure. And I craved love. I wanted my person. I wanted some kind of stability. So I jumped into a relationship way too fast with this girl. And we had been dating for maybe 4 months at the most before I moved out of state with her to live with her. And from the jump, I ignored my gut. I didn't want to be in that state. I didn't want to go to that school. I didn't even want the life path I was heading down. But I convinced myself that maybe love would make it worth it. And this woman was toxic as hell, bro. Of course, I had my part in it too, but she brought out the literal demons in me. And I really feel like we brought out the worst of each other. I still remember saying that she brought the demons out of me, bro. I mean, constant arguments. I couldn't even count how many. I mean, it was like constantly. She belittled me, talked down to me, disrespected things that I cared about, called me out in front of our family, was gaslighting me. She even was diagnosed with technically bipolar, ADHD, anxiety, depression. I mean, this girl, she had a whole bag full of meds, dude. It was crazy. And she disrespected even who I was as a person, especially my commitment to growth and fitness, because I had just got certified as a personal trainer, and she didn't really share the same passion as me, so she didn't really appreciate that part about me. Like, for example, I really wanted to be a bodybuilder, and I even spent a ton of time in the gym working out at the time because I was just in college, and she would complain about how much time I would spend working out. And, you know, it really was a massive issue because that was a huge part of me. But through it all, you know, we stayed together. We lived together for 2 years. We had dogs together. We had a whole place together. We built a home. We built a life. But I stayed and I kept trying to prove myself or just think that maybe things will just get better. I thought that if I just gave more, if I just did more, maybe she'd love me more. So I started studying physical therapy my first 2 years of college and exercise science because she said it was a safe career path. Now, I just got certified as a personal trainer. I was thinking, okay, yeah, I'm going to go do this. But she was like, no, you can't really make good money doing that. So I went to school for PT, and I realized it wasn't going to be a good fit. It didn't end up working out for me. I had to change my major because the chemistry and all the math and science just wasn't me, man. I ended up racking up over $11,000 in credit card debt, just trying to make our life together work because she also wanted to travel a lot and she was very high maintenance. She was talking about this ring that she wanted. I mean, dude, it was crazy. I remember going to Tiffany's in New York City, and we went there, and it was so intimidating for me because I'm like 24 years old. You know, a dude going here, looking at these rings, and she's basically telling me these are her standards. It's like $20,000 ring, bro. But I tried so hard just to impress her, and just because I wanted that person, I wanted my person. And I guess the thing is, we had amazing sexual chemistry, and that blinded me. You know, a lot of the times we confuse love for the emotions and feelings that we get, the endorphins, the chemicals that are released when we're intimate with someone, physically intimate. And that's why I think if you're trying to find your person, you don't want to rush into the physical part too soon and, take it to that stage, right? Until you really get to know the person. So that way you can be able to differentiate, are we truly having a genuine connection here, or is this just an illusion from the chemicals that are released from sex? But I digress. Deep down, I was miserable in this whole relationship. I was so miserable. And I honestly really don't think I even truly loved her. I just liked the idea of having someone, and having sex like every day, right? I mean, having that, it was great. But we fought so much every holiday, every birthday, around friends, around family, on trips. I mean, it was so toxic, bro. I was clinging to a fantasy because I hadn't built anything real within myself yet. Think about that. Because I was just got out of the military and I was trying to figure myself out, and I didn't really know who I was, or I was just starting to form who I was. So what did I learn from this girl, man? That no amount of love can save a relationship if you don't love yourself first. If you don't have a strong foundation, if you don't have a vision for yourself, if you don't have self-worth, if you don't have boundaries, you will lose yourself trying to keep someone who doesn't even value who you really are. And I stayed for about 2 years. I woke up angry every single day. I remember we had so many fights that I would always sleep on my right side, on my right shoulder. And she would always sleep the opposite direction. And I remember for literally about 1.5 years after our relationship ended, I had shoulder issues and shoulder pain because I slept so much on my right side for the entire relationship. And I don't know why we even renewed our lease after 1 year. I mean, we fought every holiday, New Year's, everything, man. And I stayed for 2 years. I woke up with this resentment every single day, and it wasn't even really about her anymore. It was about me. It was for abandoning my intuition. It was for betraying my own purpose and not listening to the call of my soul. And the relationship ended. She moved everything out. And, oh, by the way, during that process, I even went to a psychiatrist because she had me convinced, bro. This girl was suicidal. She literally had me convinced, bro, that I was bipolar. And the doctor literally diagnosed me with bipolar 2. She had manic episodes, like, bro, it was crazy. But she did say one thing that stuck with me in the kitchen, and I still remember this day right before we broke up, because I knew it was ending. We're standing in the kitchen. She's standing there. We just got done with a fight, and she's crying. She has tears running down her face, and I think it was actually a nice day out that day. But it wasn't a nice day inside our apartment. And she's crying, standing there. She said, "Brian, you just need to find what makes you happy, because I can't be that for you. You don't even like me, let alone love." And I kind of brushed it off under the rug, and then I put it away in a file in my heart and my brain later on. And I thought about it. And this was something that she was right about, because I expected so much from her. She wasn't the kind of person that I wanted. Of course, I didn't truly love her, but she wasn't really what I wanted at the time. I wanted someone to be there with me all the time, and someone to cook and make meals for me. And she wasn't a good cook. And that's just how she was. She didn't even enjoy it. And that's not how she grew up either. So she just wasn't the mold of the kind of woman that I wanted in my life. But I blamed her for not being what I wanted. But the thing is about life, man, is people don't change. Now, you can positively encourage someone in a positive direction to give that momentum and trajectory. Like, for example, if someone's not really working out as much, maybe you're more into it, you can inspire and motivate them, but they have to want to do it on their own, right? And you can be an encouragement and support, but you can't change people. People are who they are. And she just wasn't the mold of the kind of woman that is a fit for me. And I settled. And I betrayed my own purpose. I betrayed who I was. I ignored the red flags. And after that ended, I finally moved to Florida, the place that I originally wanted to go after the military. One of my best friends at the time was living down there. And then that's when I switched schools. I switched my major and I switched it to criminal justice. And I started rebuilding because I was thinking about going down the path of law enforcement. So I rebuilt my life on my own, and it was such a liberating feeling, man. Now, at this time, I was still in my blue pill phase. I had not even learned about women, relationships, female nature, none of that stuff. I was still very much in my blue pill phase. And this is, as I started dating, this is when I started to learn that. But my first point here is you lose your sense of identity. The issue is you allow yourself to get consumed in that relationship for someone else and not for yourself, doing things for other people and not yourself, not filling your cup up with love first. And the problem is so many guys these days get into a toxic relationship before they've even built a strong identity for themselves. They start molding themselves to fit that woman's world. And you become what they want. Just like this woman, I went to PT school because that's what she was recommending. I moved to where she wanted. I went to the school she recommended. I started taking the path. And the reason this happened is because I didn't realize that I was operating from a place of emotional scarcity. And so many guys think that having someone is better than being alone. So they abandon their purpose, their dreams, even just values, just to keep the woman around. So the solution is you've got to get clear on who you are and where you're going before you let someone walk into your life and start rearranging your future. Right? So I started studying physical therapy just because this girl thought it would be a good fit. That was me letting someone else write my story. You have to write your own story. Never let someone else hold the pen. And every single day, man, I was waking up angry with resentment and realizing that resentment wasn't just about her. It was about betraying my own values. Okay? Resentment is like a plaque. It builds up like a plaque. All right? So my second point is you begin to associate love with pain in these situations. You start to associate love with pain. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, you gave your heart to someone who didn't value it, and now you're scared to love again. Why this happens? Your vulnerability got weaponized. Maybe you got manipulated. Maybe you got cheated on. Maybe lied to constantly, ghosted constantly. So now your brain links intimacy with danger. You put your heart out there on the line. I get it, man. I was blue pilled for so long, so lost. And you start to build up this protective wall, right? You know, you start putting on your armor piece by piece. And it starts to look like safety for you. So what you have to do is you've got to rewire the way you see love. Start with the relationship you have with yourself first, because it is the most important relationship you're ever going to have. You came into this world alone, and you're going to leave this world alone. Your soul will, rather. Trust and emotional safety begin within. And healing doesn't happen in isolation entirely, okay? But it does start there. Now, another woman I was with, not going to say the name, but a woman I met in Florida. It was a very toxic situation. We dated for a few months. She was in college. I was in college. She was a few years younger than me, and she ended up pregnant. We barely knew each other, bro. I was overly attached. I was super blue pilled. I was constantly texting, making my world about her, chasing her validation, putting her on a pedestal. It doesn't matter how attractive a woman is, and if she checks all the boxes, you cannot do that, man. I had no frame. And when she chose to get an abortion, she ghosted me for months. This was literally the craziest, one of the craziest things that's ever happened to me. But no closure at all. I would just get these random 2 a.m. texts that would mess with my head because I was working a security job overnight from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. And that's when I realized I wasn't just attracting these broken relationships. It was me. I was enabling them. And I realized that I started seeing a pattern of how I was with women and the relationships I was in. And that version of me was trying to earn love by overgiving. Now, if that's the nice guy trap. So the lesson I got from this girl was you can't expect anyone to respect you if you're not respecting yourself. And if you're not prioritizing your future, and if you don't have a plan of action, you can't pedestal these women. You have to have your own life, okay? Clinginess, neediness, emotional dependence, all of it completely repels women and leaves you destroyed. And that's why you guys keep banging your head against the wall when this shit happens. You have to have an abundance mindset. And this relationship was actually my big wake-up call. That's when I started going on YouTube, looking for channels like this. I found a really good book by Corey Wayne called The 3% Man. I started learning about frame, self-worth, and emotional regulation, and just how to be around women, okay? So that's when this whole thing started, because I was seeing one relationship after the next fail. All right, my third point here is you don't trust yourself anymore. Do you? Ask yourself, do you actually trust yourself? But the issue is, after being in a toxic relationship, you start doubting your judgment. Maybe so. I don't know. Ask yourself that. But the reason this would happen is because you missed the red flags. You ignored your intuition. You let someone lead you down a path that hurt you. And now you don't know if you can trust your gut anymore. You're confused. You're lost. But all you can do is start rebuilding trust with yourself by keeping small promises. I need you to create a list of your non-negotiables in a relationship. And what qualities do you want in a woman, and what qualities do you not want in a woman? And know your standards and stick to that. Don't bend for anyone. There's tons of women out here. And never lower your standards just because you feel lonely. Ever. And never settle. So after these two women, I had to take a step back and I had to reevaluate every single thing. What do I actually want in a partner? What do I value? What are my deal breakers? What kind of man do I want to become? And now I have clarity. It's taken me a long time, a lot of pain, a lot of darkness, but I know now I want someone that values health and fitness at the same level that I do. Someone that is aligned with my lifestyle and my vision. A woman that has her own career and her feminine energy. A woman who's a great cook. You know what I mean? Because I get tired of eating the same boring stuff all the time. Literally. But most importantly, there's no more compromising just to avoid being alone. And now I've been single for 8.5 years, bro. Let me know right now. If you're watching this and any part of this is hitting you in the chest, just drop a comment. I read them all. And let me know what you're going through, because I want to make content continuously that helps you get through it. All right? But bro, listen here. Your energy is sacred. The wrong relationship will drain your purpose, rob your peace, and make you question your own value. But the right woman in your life, the right woman is going to amplify everything. She's going to amplify everything you already are, all the amazing qualities about you. And she's going to see that in you, man. But first, you have to become the man you are meant to be. Lead with strength, not desperation. Lead with purpose, not pain. And You don't need to fix a woman. You're never going to fix a woman. You're never going to be the healer, okay? You need to fix your life and take care of you so you can then choose the right woman for you and let whatever flow into your life that's meant to be. And whatever's not will go away, okay? But right now, just pour into yourself. Start by becoming the man that you would admire right now. Start by giving that love to yourself. Start by loving the version of you that kept fighting, even when no one else saw your worth. Because when you truly pour into yourself and level up, you stop chasing love. You start attracting it into your life naturally and let it flow into your life effortlessly. All right, that's all I got for you guys today. If you found this video helpful, if it resonated with you, hit that like button, drop a comment down below, let me know what you're going through, and hit that subscribe button for more. This channel is here to help you reclaim your masculinity, to help revitalize masculinity, rebuild your frame, and elevate in every area of your life, mind, body, and spirit. You're not broken, bro. You're just becoming unshakable. And remember, you never want to make a relationship. Relationships are like music. You only want to make music with people who appreciate and value your lyrics, because no matter how beautiful the lyrics are or how beautiful the melody is, some people just won't be able to hear your song. All right. So, quick recap. First relationship taught me that if you abandon your identity, you'll end up resenting the life you built. And the other one taught me that truly nice guys finish last, okay? Not because they're nice, but it's because they don't respect themselves. That's really what it is, right? So we don't want to be blue pill. We don't want to be red pill. I've made another video about how toxic red pill is, but toxic love will make you doubt yourself. It will, bro. I'm telling you. You don't have to think you're crazy, but really just healing, growth, and purpose will rebuild that trust that you have in yourself and others as well. So you got this, man. Keep climbing. Catch you guys later.